Welcome everyone to the Board of Commissioners regular meeting December 17, 2024. This time I'll ask the City Clerk, Beth Davis, to please call the roll.
Commissioner Pam Smithwright.
Here.
Commissioner Sharon Neesmith. Here. Mayor Tom Watson.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Mark Caslen.
Here.
Commissioner Bob Glenn.
Here.
Thank you. Right now, if you please stand if you're able for the invocation and the pledge by Commissioner Sharon Neesmith.
Please bow your heads and meditate or listen, and welcome everybody for this Christmas season to get started. Dear Lord, don't let us miss you this Christmas. Help us to simplify our activities and our traditions so that we can focus our celebration on your birth. Thank you for being the Prince of Peace. And I ask for you that the supernatural peace to reign in our hearts will help our world become a better place. Thank you for the simple but life-changing message of your love for all of us. And take care and bless all of our families here in our auditorium and also out in our city and all of those that work to protect us. We love you, Lord, and Merry Christmas, and hope everyone is happy and has a great time with their families. Amen.
Amen.
Forgot. I'm not with the program yet. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just think about singing.
Grace.
Grace.
Well, it's my pleasure tonight or this afternoon to recognize the Cap Gardner Employee of the Year Award. Casper Cap Gardner served as mayor from Owensboro from 1954 to 1958, a U.S. Navy veteran of World War II. He was also a dedicated public servant, a prominent figure, community figure, and a devoted family man. To honor his legacy, the Cap Gardner Award of the Year was established in 2007 to recognize an exemplary City of Owensboro employee. This year marks the 18th consecutive year we have to celebrate a city employee with a distinguished honor. Each year, a committee comprised of a professional member of our community, a representative from the Neighborhood Alliance, and a member of the Rotary Club carefully reviews nominations submitted by peers and supervisors to select the recipient. In addition to receiving the award, the honoree's name will be added to a permanent memorial in Cap Gardner Park, located at 20th and J.R. Miller Boulevard. Here are a few excerpts from the nominations that were submitted. The nominee is one of the most diligent and committed members of our department. She has a full plate dealing with payroll, accounts receivable, liaison with HR, performing general administrative tasks to assist the fire chief and other chiefs, with OFD business, and dealing with the rest of us. That's not on there, I just added that. When the nominee first moved to OFD, she studied one of the department portraits and learned everyone's name and face. I had yet to meet her, and when I walked into her office for the first time, she called me by name and talked as if we'd known each other all of our lives. The nominee is a quiet force behind the scenes. She has been here long enough to know that she can many times anticipate what is needed before it is requested. She's an exemplary employee who goes above and beyond, both professionally and personally. The one who has earned the 2024 Cap Gardner Employee of the Year Award has been a dedicated member of the City of Owensboro team for nearly 20 years, serving the past 8 years as admin aide for the Owensboro Fire Department. Congratulations, Ms. Carla Shelton. We're proud and grateful to have you on our team. Come forward, please.
I'm honored to receive this award, and I want to thank those who selected me to receive the award, and especially those who nominated me. Being the only admin support person for the fire department can be hectic at times, but I'm blessed to work with a wonderful group of individuals whom I have the utmost respect for. I've lost my words. I'm sorry, I knew I would do this. They do not hesitate to thank me for the job that I do, and I'm proud to be a part of their family. Thank you.
That's the way to start a meeting off. Okay, item 4B, Neighborhood Alliance Program 25-year anniversary. Somebody named Shaylee Velez, Communications Marketing Manager. Where would she be?
Hello, I'm back.
Hello.
Well, this year, the Neighborhood Alliance program hit a major milestone, and that was celebrating its 25th anniversary, which is very remarkable when you think of a program and all the great things that they've done in this community. But what's really remarkable is when you look at everything they've done. 25 years is a long time, and there's a lot of things that you may drive by, walk by, things and traffic lights and signs and projects, events even, that are in existence today because of the Neighborhood Alliance. So we thought it'd be great to walk through some of these so we can truly, one, acknowledge the people who've made this all possible, but two, we want to see more from our group, and we're excited for the future that it holds. So let me take you back to 1999, where a group of neighbors from the city's west side met with Mayor Wayman Morris, Commissioner Olive Burrows, and other city leaders to discuss a list of problems that they wanted to tackle. And that meeting led to several changes in the neighborhood around the Duke and Best Community Center, including, moving some low-hanging electric lines, cleaning up graffiti, tackling some crime issues. And it was at that point that an ordinance was approved to create the Neighborhood Advisory Board program, which was formed to improve the quality of life and to protect and to promote the health, safety, and welfare of the Owensboro community. And 4 boards were initially established: Duke and Best, Baptist Town, which is now the Northwest Alliance, Old Owensboro, and the Apollo Area Alliance. Now, in 2000 is when we started to see them really grow. And Midtown East and Shifley York joined. The Apollo area advocated for a park to be developed in the southwestern Owensboro area, which resulted actually in Wayman Morris Park, a very hoppin' place, especially this time of year with football going on. And in collaboration between the residents of the J.Z. Moore neighborhood and Old Owensboro Neighborhood Alliance, the Owensboro Historic Preservation Board was established to identify, protect, and preserve historic landmarks and properties through the creation of the Historic Preservation Districts, something that the Owensboro Neighborhood Alliances had a part in. In 2001, Seven Hills, Dogwood, Azalea, and the Southwest Alliances were formed. Apollo Area Alliance Flower Garden was installed at Apollo High School on Tamarack Road, and that is a garden that you probably drive by all the time and is still maintained by that alliance today. Duke and Best aided in the addition of new playground equipment at Duke and Best Park. The Apollo Area Alliance advocated for a new fire station in their area, hence Fire Station number 5 today, located there on South Griffith. In 2002, Audubon Bon Harbor Alliance joined the club, and in 2003, Wesley and Shawnee and Hillcrest Alliances were formed. And Southeast worked with the city to address some flooding issues in their area. At this point, you see the alliances really coming together and see what they can tackle in each of their neighborhoods, which was really cool. So in 2004, Audubon Bon Harbor led the way in construction of a new playground, and then you saw some of them really getting recognized. So in 2004, the NABs received the Kentucky League of Cities Enterprise Cities Award. In 2005, Audubon Bon Harbor organized a beautification project for the Owensboro welcome signs that you see out on 60. And did you know Shively York advocated for state officials to install a traffic light at Carter and Biddle Roads, which we've all been stopped at that light, and we're very thankful for its existence. Northwest worked with the city on the conversion of Kendall Perkins Park into its pool into a spray park. Wesley and Shawnee worked with the Southern Little League to honor players with a bronze statue there at the ball fields. If you've ever been there at that intersection of Sherm and South Griffith, you see it right there. And the Dogwood Azalea served as a facilitator during discussions of a proposed tennis complex, which is there at Moreland Park. And they worked as representatives for the neighborhood during the relocation of the library, as well as an expansion at Owensboro High School. So a big project, they had their hands in there. In 2008, Old Owensboro sought to establish more green space, including a neighborhood park, and through the Old Germantown redevelopment project, Old Germantown Park was created. In 2013, they worked with Public Works to get those beautiful signs up you see around the city, letting you know what neighborhood alliance you're in. In 2018, Seven Hills Alliance aided in the renaming of the baseball field at Chautauqua Park after the late Ernie Knight, who coached the 1958 Babe Ruth World Series team. And in 2019, the Northwest Alliance raised money to provide free Wi-Fi at Kendall Perkins Park and planted over 30 trees and shrubs thanks to partnership with Lowe's. In 2020, the year we don't really like to think about, but good things were still happening, the Northwest Alliance began work on the Kendall Perkins Park mural to celebrate Black history, and they planted flowers in the medians on West 5th Street, which actually the newest panel of the mural was just finished not too long ago. In 2021, Northwest Alliance developed the Deep Roots Community Garden. Apollo area adopted Deepwood Court Island and made several improvements to benefit residents in the area. And we really saw our alliances in their neighborhoods, their neighborhood parks, like Northwest, working with the Parks Department to upgrade basketball goals at Kendall Perkins, Audubon working on improvements at Thompson Berry Park. In 2022, Northwest led the effort to rename Max Rhodes Park to Moneta Sleet Jr. Park. And then they held Groovin' on the Green out there, which brought hundreds of people to their park for a really cool event. Shively York advocated for a resolution to flooding in the York area, resulting in the York Ditch Stormwater Project. And the Seven Hills Alliance restored the Trinity Hills entrance sign. They planted trees, installed trash receptacles on the greenbelt. In 2023, Northwest spearheaded the improved amenities at Moneta Sleet Jr. Park. So you saw their basketball courts, and they got a pavilion out there, and that park's really looking great. And a big project that came out of last year, perhaps one of the most notable of the neighborhood alliances, you had several of your alliances realize there was a problem in their area. They were in a food desert, and so they came together and created the West End Food Alliance and teamed up with Tri-State Food Bank so that people in their area could get fresh produce right there in their neighborhood. And they gave out 11,000 pounds of food last year, which was incredible. Shively York Alliance advocated for a traffic light at Barron Drive and Carter Road. That project's been approved, and if you've ever been on Barron trying to turn left on Carter, you know everyone in that area will be very thankful for that light. So these projects and these neighborhood alliances are just very vital in our community. A lot of people say they want to get involved in their community, and this is the program where they can do that. And so if anyone's interested in joining, they can email nab@owensboro.org, and the wonderful Adrienne Carrico, who is the director of the program, will get with them. She does a great job with that program, and she'll get them connected with their neighborhood alliance. We also have a map on our website. You can type in your address, find out what alliance you're in. If it's not activated, well, guess what? You can join and get it activated again and begin many of these projects that we talked about today.
Thank you. Question? Any comments? Thank you, Steve. Next item on the agenda, 4C, the very popular annual financial report. Angela, Director of Finance and Support Services.
Thank you, Mayor. I think I like that. The very popular. That's got a nice ring to it. So for the first slide, this is the city's 7th popular annual financial report, and I will be here on referring to it as the PAFR. The PAFR is a very condensed version of our audit. By example, the PAFR is only 12 pages, whereas the city's audit is 172 pages. As such, the PAFR is designed to be readily accessible and easily understandable by the general public. We started publishing this report in 2018 as a result of OBKY recommendations for providing easy to understand annual reports regarding the financial status of the city. We also submit this report to the Government Finance Officers Association, which I'll be referring to as GFOA going forward. We submit to them for national award consideration. To date, we have received that award for every PAFR that we have submitted. Some of the things that you will find in the PAFR include communication from our city manager, a directory of the elected officials and administrative staff, financial information on the general fund, which is the city's general operating fund, demographic information of our city, information on signature capital projects of the city. The PAFR reflects the elected officials in office for the respective year that the PAFR is reporting on. And I feel it's important to recognize and give credit to our elected officials who work so hard to provide direction for our city and its future. There's also a list of the administrative staff in the PAFR. Page 3 of the PAFR reflects various information about the city, such as how the city got its name, the form of city government, and the services provided by the city. This slide is from page 5 of the PAFR. It reflects the general fund revenues, expenditures, and fund balance. More detail of the city's finances can be found in the city's annual comprehensive report, which is our audit, on the city's website at owensboro.org. Page 6 of our PAFR has a pie chart that reflects expenditures by category. Salaries and benefits make up 50% of the general fund's expenditures for the fiscal year 2024. And you'll also notice in the smaller circle, the large blue area is 73% of the total salaries and benefits, and that represents our public safety. Owensboro has had its share of notoriety. This is reflected on pages 7 and 8 of our PAFR. There are several new awards this year, notably USA Today's Reader's Choice for Best Air Show Award is included. The city has been recognized by the GFOA for its budget, audit, and PAFR. You can find more information about these on page 9 in the PAFR. Page 10 of the PAFR showcases items of interest, which is some of the city's significant capital projects. The city has several projects ongoing at any given time. A reader may refer to the city's annual budget for more information on other projects and initiatives. The PAFR can be found on the city's website at owensboro.org. Hard copies will also be available in the front lobby of City Hall. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you for that popular report. We appreciate it. Item 4D is city project list. City manager.
Thank you, Mayor. No presentation other than to say the project report is in your packet and available in a hard copy in front of you as it is every month. Just highlight one project this month, and that is the indoor sports facility is now underway in earnest. The contractor is nearly complete with mass excavation and is working on foundation construction. So happy to report that that is now proceeding per the schedule. Other than that, I'm happy to address any questions should you have any.
Any questions?
I've just got one.
Sure, Commissioner.
The senior center, so where are we at with that? I know that we haven't broken ground or anything. Have we heard any more about what we're doing with that?
Yes.
A timetable to start that.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm trying to pull it up. I know we have changed the project delivery method, and so we're now seeking bids for a design build project. So instead of going through a separate process where we hire an architect and they design it, and then we put the finished plans out for bid, we're trying to unify that in an effort to speed that project up. And so I believe that those bids will go out sometime actually in the next week and are due back, I believe, January 30th or so the end of the month. So after that, we should have a much better understanding of our timeline moving forward.
Thank you, City Manager, and thank you, Mayor.
Okay, next item on the agenda, I'm going to ask City Manager Nate Pagan to recognize Commissioners Mark Caslin and Pam Smith-Wright. Y'all go down front.
Well, it's my honor to recognize two outgoing commissioners, thank them for their service to the community. It's difficult and admirable thing to put yourself out there and run for office, to not only do that and then win the election, occupy the office for a good number of years. And so that is definitely worthy of your recognition. And so we're happy to do that today. So on behalf of the city and all of us here at City Hall and those constituents that you served, I'd like to recognize Commissioner Mark Caslin for his 2 terms on the Owensboro Board of Commissioners. Also, I'd like to acknowledge Commissioner Pam Smithwright for her multiple terms. So, Pam, happy to recognize you for your service today as well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you guys want to come down and take a picture?
Pay the ransom, I'm coming.
I just want to thank the community for their belief in me for serving so many years. And I've enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you.
I just want to thank everybody for the recognition and all of the people that have supported me throughout this quick 4 years. You know, when I stepped into this arena, I didn't know what I was getting into. It's turned out that I have been educated in a lot of different areas, and one is the leadership of this city in all of the departments is as solid as I could have ever wished it could have been. I don't care where I've been. I've gone and visited a lot of areas, just called, you know, to maybe like RWRA or OMU, wherever, different departments that we are affiliated with. And every time I was impressed with the leadership. And I've been impressed with the leadership of my fellow commissioners, the mayor, city manager, all of you here. You've done a great job, and I feel very positive about the way our city is headed in the future. And I see our Northwest Alliance neighborhood is here today, several members. I love them like family, just like the rest of you, and I've been so impressed with the leadership that they have provided for our city also. And anyway, thank you again, and God bless you.
Okay, item 5A, consider approval of minutes dated December the 3rd, 2024. I'll entertain a motion to approve these minutes. Could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion, additions, deletions? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you. This time I'd like for you to consider these board appointments. Senior Community Center of Owensboro and Davis County Board appoint Jim Billman to a 3-year term effective December the 17th, 2024. Reappoint Jennifer Burke, Bill Cooper, Elaine Grant, Brenda Neesmith, Mark Schmidt, and Loris Wimsett to a 3-year term effective January the 1st, 2025. Owensboro Sister Cities and Regions Board appoint Ross Lee to a 3-year term effective December 17th, 2024. Greater Owensboro Chamber of Commerce appoint Curtis Maglinger to a 1-year term effective January the 1st, 2025. To the Owensboro City Utility Commission, reappoint J.T. Fulkerson to a 3-year term effective January the 1st. The city's Employee Pension Board closed, appoint Curtis Maglinger and Jeff Sanford to a 4-year term effective January the 1st, 2025. The grad board of directors appoint Nate Pagan as mayor's designee to fill the remainder of an unexpired term ending December the 31st, 2025, replacing Tom Watson. Property Maintenance Code Enforcement Board appoint Stacy Singh to fill the remainder of an unexpired term January the 1st, 2025, and ending July the 2nd, 2026, replacing Jeff Sanford. The Owensboro Tourism and Convention Commission reappoint Brandon Dukes, Steve Johnson, and Ashton Redmond to a 3-year term effective January the 1st, 2025. And the Owensboro Human Relations Commission reappoint Dr. Eunice Taylor and Dr. Vina Salon to a 3-year term effective January the 1st. Make a motion to approve these. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Any discussion? Thank you. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 6 is ordinance, second reading, a roll call vote. Ms. Davis.
Ordinance 19-2024, an ordinance creating new sections of Chapter 16, Article 3, Division 4 of the Owensboro Municipal Code entitled Transient Room Tax, to establish definitions and to clarify the registration requirement, amending Section 16-70.35 to accurately state the types of occupancy subject to the transient room tax, amending Section 16-70.38 to set forth uses of transient room tax, amending Section 16-70.39 to establish that party receiving rent must pay the transient room tax and comply with the ordinance, and amending Sections 16-70.40 and 16-70.41 to improve legibility and establish a deadline for compliance. Read for approval on second reading the 17th day of December, 2024.
Okay, would somebody like to make a motion for this?
Motion.
Motion, could I have a second, please? Second. Thank you. City Manager, would you like to discuss?
I will, Mayor. As you'll recall, Angela Waninger and Mark Pfeiffer gave a very thorough presentation on this topic at our last meeting, but I'll give a quick summary for those in attendance or who may be watching today. This is second reading of changes to our transient room tax ordinance based on lessons we've learned over the last almost 2 years since we started collecting this particular tax. The transient room tax is assessed on renters of hotels and similar lodgings, including short-term rentals brokered online, such as through Airbnb, Vrbo, and similar services. The changes today are largely to better identify the party responsible for collecting and remitting that tax. And unfortunately, one particular online service is not complying with our ordinance, and so that presents an inequity from those others who are complying and doing it correctly. So we're just trying to make it more clear and who is the responsible party.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Davis?
Commissioner Smithwright,
Aye.
Commissioner Neesmith, Mayor Watson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Caslin,
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn.
Yes.
Thank you. Item 6B, please.
Ordinance 20-2024, an ordinance closing alley rights-of-way between 165 Ewing Road and 2519 Pardon Avenue, and between 183 Ewing Road and 2518 Pardon Avenue in the city of Owensboro, Kentucky. Read for approval on second reading the 17th day of December, 2024.
I think a motion.
Motion.
Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. City Manager?
Second reading of an alley closure ordinance. It's an alley at the end of Pardon Avenue and behind 165 and 183 Ewing Road. This particular alley was actually never constructed, so most people, if you went to the site, wouldn't even know it's there. It just would appear to be the neighboring yards. And all of the contiguous or adjoining property owners have provided written consent for this closure as well.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioner Neesmith, Mayor Watson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Caslin,
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Smithwright.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion approved. Item 7, municipal order.
Municipal Order 37-2024, a municipal order declaring the property located at 3810 Fairview Drive as surplus property and authorizing the mayor to execute a real estate purchase agreement and deed conveying the property. Read for approval on one reading the 17th day of December, 2024.
I'll make this motion. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. This municipal order approves the sale of approximately 20 acres located at 3810 Fairview Drive. The city purchased this property in 2021 for the Fairview Drive Extension Project, which connected the former end of Fairview in the rear of the Downs neighborhood with the intersection of Hayden Road and Kentucky 603 at the eastern end of Gateway Commons. That project was done in partnership with Senior Green, a landholder in the area, and Davis County Public Schools as part of the development of the new Davis County Middle School at that time. The buyer of the property is Pleasant Corner LLC, which is managed by local businessman Ryan McDaniel. Ryan is working on a development in the area with two large, well-known national retailers, so it will be a great project for the community. The tenants can't be disclosed just yet, but hopefully the companies and Ryan will be able to make an announcement soon. We appreciate Ryan putting together this project and his investment in the community. The sales price is $100,000 per acre, which is the same price the city paid when we purchased the property for that Fairview project in 2021. And you can see in the map on your screens, we're selling the property there outlined in red. It's, again, 19.99 acres, so approximately 20 acres. And you can see the road there to the left or the bottom of the red, which was the Fairview extension. And that's the reason why we acquired this property a few years ago for that project. And so it served its purpose, and now we're selling off the remaining acreage for economic development.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 7B, please.
Municipal Order 38-2024, a municipal order authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an application for an Assistance to Firefighters grant through FEMA in the approximate amount of $129,915.16, the proceeds of which will be utilized by the City of Owensboro to purchase equipment needed to upgrade Engine 2 and Engine 4 to advanced life support units. A 10% match of $12,991.52 is required by the city. Read for approval on one reading the 17th day of December 2024.
Okay, will somebody please make a motion?
So moved.
Could I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. City manager?
Over the last 2 to 3 years, the Owensboro Fire Department has been implementing Advanced Life Support Service, or ALS service, which is a higher level of response compared to a basic life support. So essentially you can think of it as paramedic service versus EMT service for the general public vernacular. This municipal order approves a grant application for 2 cardiac monitors and related ALS equipment, which would be assigned to Engine 2 and Engine 4, would allow both of those apparatus to provide ALS service. 10% match is required, but we have funds available in the budget to satisfy that match, so no additional funding is required.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Item 7C, please. Ms. Davis.
Municipal Order 39-2024, a municipal order authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a real estate purchase agreement for the acquisition of property located at 102 and 118 Veterans Boulevard West and Allen Street. Read for approval on one reading the 17th day of December 2024.
Thank you. I'll make this a motion. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
City manager?
Thank you, Mayor. This municipal order authorizes the purchase of 102 and 118 Veterans Boulevard. This is a prime development site along Smothers Park and the riverfront, comprising approximately half of a block of frontage there. Jago Homes has owned this property for several years, but has decided to go a different direction and no longer has plans for the property. We approached Jago about potentially selling us the property, and they were great to work with, and we appreciate their approach to the project. They agreed to sell us the property for their cost, essentially, to acquire and demo the structures on the land. And that cost is $4.2 million. But again, that is just reimbursing their costs, and so we appreciate them being a good partner and not attempting to profit off of taxpayers from Owensboro. And you can see on the map, the properties again in red are the properties that we would be acquiring. At the top of the screen there, you can see Veterans Boulevard, and of course the park is across the street, and then the river. And you can see Allen, and that's St. Anne there to the left, the street on the left or to the west. And so that is essentially half a block there. That will be a wonderful redevelopment site. It's just been largely parking and gravel and grass for the last 6 or 7 years, and so that site can obviously be put to much better use. And it could be a great site for another signature project downtown. We anticipate working with our colleagues from the Economic Development Corporation to solicit proposals from developers interested in the property. We do anticipate considerable interest, so it is not something that we anticipate buying and holding for the long term.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Commissioner Glenn?
So the area that's currently parking lot, I know when Terry Woodward redid the building and turned it into condos that fronts the Second Street, that's where they parked. So they're gonna obviously be allowed to park there until we have a building put up. And then I'm wondering, I'm just thinking from their view, where are they gonna park? I know that's kind of dumb, but that would
It's great. I know a lot of the employees of some of the storefronts in there, like the pizza place and the coffee shop on Allen Street. I've talked to that building owner, so they know this is coming. I think a lot of the folks in those apartments may actually park in the parking garage as it is now. And so we'll work to relocate those. I think they all understand it's good for their businesses ultimately to have more traffic down there. So any kind of growing pain like that, we'll work hand in hand with those projects or those property owners and businesses to do so.
Okay. I've just.
Yeah, good question.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, City Manager.
I have a question. You know, there's another piece of that property that didn't belong there, and I have made a phone call. Has there been any other discussion on that piece of property?
Not yet, but they're aware, and we would anticipate trying to acquire that as well. It would sort of square it out. You can see what the mayor's talking about is that kind of narrow white roof that goes left to right there in the middle of the screen. And so that's not part of this acquisition. It has a separate owner, but we have expressed our interest in acquiring that property as well. And you can see that would essentially square off to a full half block there. And so that would make it an easier site to redevelop. So that's a good comment and something that we would anticipate bringing back for future consideration is to acquire that last little property there that's not in this acquisition as of today.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
I think, Mayor, next is the financial report, and Angela Waninger will present the November financial report.
I'll be presenting for the general fund activity for the month of and the 5 months ended November 2024. For the first month of November, actual revenues were $11,682,104, which was higher than budgeted revenues of $10,298,168, resulting in a variance of $1,383,936. This variance is primarily due to higher property tax and insurance license fees. For the 5 months ended November, the total fiscal year-to-date actual revenues of $37,692,247 were higher than budgeted revenues of $35,382,247 for a favorable variance of $2,310,161. This variance is primarily due to higher property tax, net profits, and insurance license fees. I'd like to note that a portion of the property tax and net profits at some point in time later in the fiscal year will be dispersed due to our tax increment financing and developer incentive agreements. For the next slide, it's expenditures for the month of November. The actual expenditures were $5,510,805, which was less than budgeted expenditures of $5,835,180 for a variance of $324,375. This is primarily due to lower personnel services and timing in maintenance. For the 5 months ended November, fiscal year-to-date actual expenditures of $29,901,355 were less than budgeted expenditures of $35,670,132 for a variance of $5,768,777. This variance is primarily due to savings in personnel services of $372,000 and timing and transfers to OMU and maintenance and supplies. And just as a reminder, that transfer to OMU is related to the ARPA funds that we received. And for our last slide, the city's monthly revenues and expenses are cyclical as depicted on this chart. Expenses reflected by the red bar typically outpace revenues in the warmer months when outdoor activities are in full swing. Likewise, we have months where revenues, as depicted by the green bar, outpace expenditures, such as in the months of October and November, due to collection of property taxes, in the month of April due to collection of net profits. If anyone has any questions, I would be happy to answer.
Questions? That's awful, I forgot what I was gonna ask. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying, motion to file the financial report for audit, that's what I was gonna do.
Motion.
Could I have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries, thank you. Item 8B, City Manager.
Yes, we have the following personnel appointments this evening. For new hire, probationary status, Gregory Etherly, probationary full-time, non-civil service appointment to bus driver or dispatcher with the Transit Department effective December 23rd. William Olowinski, probationary full-time, non-civil service appointment to maintenance equipment operator with the Street Department effective December 30th. Paul Bodenheimer, probationary full-time, non-civil service appointment to crew leader with Parks and Recreation effective January 6th. Jonathan Baxley and Tristan Blue, probationary full-time, non-civil service appointments to police officer with the Police Department effective January 12th. Estin Costello, Gabrielle Quintana Melton, and Adrian Terrazas, probationary full-time, non-civil service appointments to police officer with the Police Department effective January 12th, contingent upon successful completion of all post-offer pre-employment requirements. And then for new regular status, which is employees completing their probationary period, we have Steve Mentier, regular full-time, non-civil service appointment to infrastructure manager with the Information Technology Department effective December 31st. Devin Adkins, regular full-time, non-civil service appointment to systems administrator with the Information Technology Department effective January 2nd. Brian Mays, regular full-time, non-civil service appointment to road worker with the Street Department effective January 2nd. James Alwathan, regular full-time, non-civil service appointment to firefighter with the Fire Department effective January 2nd. And Brandon Hunt, regular full-time, non-civil service appointment to police officer with the Police Department effective January 3rd.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Item 8C, City Manager comments.
No comments tonight, Mayor.
Good deal. Item 9, communication from elected official, Commissioner Smith-Wright.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
I just want to wish all of the citizens of Owensboro a Merry Christmas. And I want to ask parents to get involved in their children's lives, because there are families that will not be enjoying Christmas this year because of a shooting that happened. And it's so sad that these kids are coming up with these guns and killing folks and killing other children. So I would just ask that you be mindful of what your children are doing, and that I wish you all a Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Mr. Castler.
Thank you, Mayor. Kind of piggybacking off of Commissioner Smith-Wright, you know, we are here as parents to be leaders for our children and not their friends. It's kind of like I told my son one time back years ago when we had an argument. I said, you know, I'm here to be one that guides you and provides you with information, and I will do that as your father throughout your life. And if a friendship develops somewhere in that, I'm cool with that. And I thank God if it does happen. But at the same time, I will always be your father first and present things to you in a fashion that is helpful to you in your future. And kind of like Commissioner Smith-Wright said, be involved with your children and make sure that you know what they're doing, where they're going, who they're seeing, and guide them in their daily activities. And on another note, once again, I just want to thank the citizens of this great city for giving me the opportunity to represent you the 4 years that I've been in office. And I hope all of you have a very blessed and Merry Christmas. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Commissioner Glenn?
Yes, just three things. The first is we had occasion to have our grandchildren here, and so we took advantage of the many amenities the community has, particularly downtown. We rode the new trolley, which was awesome. My 3-year-old grandson thoroughly enjoyed that. We went to Smothers Park 3 times. He really enjoyed that. And then Legion Park, we went and saw the lights. Now, Nate, I'm just kidding you. I didn't see a place to stomp on to get the count, so we were looking for that, but work on that. And then finally, I was in the convention center for the futsal tournament, and that was a wonderful event, very well attended, and I think the convention center did very well, at least in terms of food and drink and all that, but it was a very nice event. I do want to say we're going to miss you, Pam. We're going to miss you, Mark. You've both done tremendous work on behalf of our community. I know you both love our community with all your heart, and it shows, and we are going to miss you. So thank you again so much for all you've done to move our community forward. And then finally, I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And to quote Justin Timberlake, if you drink, don't drive. And if you do drink, take an Uber. And that's all I've got.
Or Lyft, right?
Or Lyft.
That's what we got here.
Pick a company.
Commissioner Neesmith, please.
I think I always said that whenever I follow Bob, I'm always going to go just ditto because he does hit a lot of great points. So I would like to say that I agree with him. I have been, being the newbie on this dais, I have been fortunate to work with Pam and Mark, and I do know that for sure that they may not be on here, but I know they're going to be out there in the city because I know how busy they are in all their other volunteer activities. So thank you all very much. I do want to give a shout out to Tim Ross and Shaylee, and also to the crew that had to put up all of those lights. They're beautiful. As the hotel manager, the people have just gone out and walked with their children down to the parks. It's been really pretty, and I just got lots of comments from it. So I think it was, and I know there's been some additions to it. So if you don't have the holiday spirit, if you go down there and walk, you can't not have it. But I also know that I also saw those gentlemen in those bucket trucks up there during the day hanging each of those lights, and I know they were probably praying that none of them went out, not even one. So just Merry Christmas to everybody, and keep the love in your heart, and have a safe New Year.
Thank you. I too want to congratulate Mark and Pam for their service to our community. It's been a pleasure working with you. It's hard to say goodbye to good friends, but don't be a stranger. You're always welcome around here. This week, I don't know if y'all know, they're making a movie here in town, and I actually was amazed at what was going on there. The technology, the lights, the teamwork. As a coach, it was just remarkable to see everybody pulling in the same direction, and be sure and watch for the mayor of Owensboro's cameo appearance in this thing. I think they got a great shot of the back of my head, so it's going to be a pretty neat deal. We're really happy, and several of the people are from L.A., and actually one of the people working there has actually bought a home here and love the community so much that they're going to stay, so it's a pretty neat deal. So Merry Christmas to everybody. Just remember to keep baby Jesus in your heart, because that's what this season is all about. This time we'll go to open public forum. Members of the audience may address the Board of Commissioners on any matter of public concern that was not on the agenda. Comments are limited to issues within the scope and responsibility of the Commission. Commission meetings are held to conduct city business for the benefit of Owensboro citizens and taxpayers. Meetings are not intended to serve as public forums for candidates who are campaigning for political office. Political candidates will not be allowed to use the commission meetings to promote his or her candidacy for public office. At this time, anyone who wishes to address the City Commission, please make their way to the podium to be recognized. Speakers must state their name and address for the clerk's record and limit their remarks to 3 minutes or less. Open mic.
Ooh, man, I got lightheaded. I'm Sheila Crow, president of the Northwest Neighborhood Alliance, and I'm also a business owner in the Northwest area, Pinky Snow Cone and Snacks. And me and the Alliance and a couple of business owners and residents in the area are here tonight to address the homelessness issue that we're dealing with in our area. I'm sure you guys know that we are all dealing with the homelessness here in Owensboro, but majority of them are located in the Northwest Alliance area. I'm gonna speak as a business owner, because I do live in Dugan Best area. As a business owner there, I have noticed, and I actually grew up in the Northwest area on Elm Street. So, you know, I knew a lot of the community, and regardless of what's being said, this is being told to me directly because I actually communicate with the homeless down there in that area, and a lot of people that we are seeing are not residents of Owensboro, Kentucky. They have been given one-way tickets here because Owensboro is known to have a lot of resources for people in rehabs. We are aware that homelessness is not just in Owensboro, it's several other places. But as a concerned citizen, I would appreciate us taking care of the people who are here, just like veterans, and you know, us taking care of people that come in from other countries and stuff. We need to take care of who's here first, and then we can look to maybe provide resources for someone else. I went to Faust Elementary School, and you have to walk to Faust because you live so close to Faust. You can't catch a bus. So there's a lot of kids and stuff that walk from our area to Faust Elementary. And what concerns me about the homelessness is we had someone overdose right across the street from Pinky's. It's at 905 West 5th Street, right there by the Neblett Center. And it's pedophiles and things like that. Like, what kind of screening is being done when these folks are coming in? Of course, we have a registry here. I don't know how the registry goes for that, if it's just city, state, local, or anything like that, but these people are coming in from different states and cities, people from Washington, people from New York, like it's all kinds, and I don't know none of these people here that I see walking up and down the business, and I'm there mostly for the kids. So what I'm wanting to do as a business owner, I don't appreciate that, of course. The Neblett Center, I'm going to speak on their behalf. I spoke to the director there. She told me they've had to wake up people. They've had paraphernalia there. They've had needles there on their property there. That is a child care center. It's a daycare center here. So if y'all don't care enough about the residents, we're asking you, it's businesses too that line the pockets of everyone that's here, and we are tax-paying citizens. So what I want to do as far as the business, it's not appreciated. And then as the Alliance goes, I know that we have the ability to change ordinances. We are wanting to change the ordinances, whereas the homeless centers and the drug rehabs are limited in our area. What's already there and established, I guess, could remain there, but we are wanting to put an ordinance into place because we are now living with these people and also taking the property value down in the area as well. I'm sure you guys can appreciate that if it wasn't in your area as well. You want to speak on you being in the area?
I want it to be last.
This is the business owner. Go ahead and introduce yourself up there. You can talk about your home.
My name is Nick Pavlas, and I own the Cadillac Motel and the restaurant, whatever is left of it. I have come here and talked to you before, and I'm sure I can tell that somebody, I don't know who, you know, it could be the mayor or somebody, done something, and the police it has changed the way they do, you know, and they're helping us out a lot. But the problem is still there. I can tell you that this last week, I had to replace 4 doors that been kicked in by homeless people. I got 4 windows, plate windows, double plate windows that have been broken by homeless people. I'm to the point that I'm about to shut my business down and get out of town. For the simple reason, something needs to be done in the West End because of the homeless. I carry a gun to get out of my house. I get out of my car and I back and look around to see who is around. This is Owensboro. We need help. I'm sure you all are trying. I don't really know what to tell you what to do, but there is a big problem. You can walk, I mean, maybe, I don't know if any of you went down there in the evening to see what's going on, but it would be very educational to see what these people are doing. They're sleeping anywhere. They're pushing, they are threatening other people to get in their rooms and live in there. I'm sorry for having to come here and repeat myself, you know, so we are asking for your help. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Patricia Mosby, and I recently relocated here from Southern California. After 3 years of research trying to decide where my husband and I were going to retire, we chose Owensboro. What I didn't know was I was leaving homelessness in Southern California only to encounter it here, which was pretty shocking. It was eye-awakening to be living across from a park, a beautiful park, with a lot of homeless people living there doing drugs and prostitution. So I see that the homelessness now, currently this last year, has changed from older homeless people to a lot younger men, which is very scary for me. So 18 to 25-year-old young males are now appearing at English Park, which to me, they're just looking for trouble, but you know, that's my opinion. But anyways, what I want to know is what is the cost the taxpayers of Owensboro are paying for the homeless issues? The Coalition for the Homeless used data conducted by the University of Louisville Kent School of Social Work. For the Coalition, Louisville Metro Office of Community Service and concluded housing is the least costly option. For each chronically street homeless person whose house the city saves approximately $26,146 per year. A simple Google search shows that the chronically homeless person costs the taxpayer an average of $35,578 per year. Studies show costs of average are reduced by 49.5% when they are placed in supportive housing. Supportive housing costs on the average of $12,800, making the net savings roughly $4,800 per year. There are so many entities for the homeless in the Northwest Alliance area to the point where it is saturated with nonprofit and for-profits. We are seeking that no more nonprofits and for-profits for the homeless, i.e. homeless shelters, social services, addiction recoveries, be allowed to do business in our area. As it is, the city has control issues with the homeless taking over the picnic shelters that the taxpayers pay for and cannot use. The homeless destroy the bathrooms at the park, are doing drug and prostitutions at these parks. These homeless people are transients and not residents of our city. The city of Owensboro has an abundance of homeless services. However, they're not being used to their full potential. I attended the recent Homeless Coalition last week. There were members asking other members to please use their services. Apparently, there was one entity that had empty beds that the shelters could use that no one was aware of, and then another person was advising she was able to pick up the homeless dogs and hold them until they were out of the white flag areas. So in essence, they were saying people didn't know where to go. They didn't know, police officers didn't know which beds to go to, you know, which entities. So, am I done? Oh. Can I, thank you. It's just real quick. So anyways, so why doesn't the city obtain either a school, and so I was saying, why doesn't the city obtain a school bus or GRIT and then put a homeless person to work, driving the school bus, an old school bus, to go around using the bus service routes to pick up homeless people with dogs, because the people with dogs are not getting to the shelters. And honestly, these people need to be out of the element. I mean, they cannot continue. A way to improve these services is that the City of Owensboro creates a database. There currently is a database, HMIS, which stands for Homeless Management Information Systems. It is a web-based software application that Homes Assistance provides used to coordinate care management, their operations, and better service their clients. Their purpose is to collect client-level data and date on the provision of housing and services to individuals and families at risk. The city could expand upon this, create their own for all the providers the City of Owensboro, require the entities to update the database at the end of the day. It could tell how many beds are open, where, and what other services are available on any given day. It would also be great assistance to OPD in knowing which shelter to take the homeless to. The database would also be an excellent resource for the PIT count held annually in January. What are the exit strategies for addiction recovery centers in Owensboro? What is the exit strategy if they exceed it and if they fail to complete the program? Does the city enforce these strategies? Were the strategies a condition for doing business in Owensboro? If not, why not? Why are the taxpayers paying for these entities' failures when they become homeless on our streets? Are they not going back to where they are from? Is it that we are is that why we're counting so many homeless? Mr. Cassim stated that he is for a homeless encampment on property owned by the Owensboro Municipal Utilities Office on Kentucky 144. He further went on to say the city has become too enticing to homeless people with addiction and homes with the resources in town. Tiny homes were suggested by Mayor Watson for the old senior center. What are the plans for the senior centers? The seniors stated that one of the reasons they don't want the senior center at its current location was due to the homeless. They are afraid to go from their car to the building. The senior center is the gateway exit of the city. Placing tiny homes there will only hamper the city's progress to beautify downtown. So many cities are turning their defunct malls into housing to address housing shortage and revitalize neighborhoods, such as Skyview Park Apartments in New York. It was an abandoned Sears building converted to 157 low-income and senior housing units. Lafayette Square Mall in Indianapolis. The mall plans to add 1,200 apartments by 2025, including affordable options in a former Sears building. At least 192 U.S. malls plan to add housing to their footprint as of January 2022. Why doesn't the city do the same? The mall is centrally located to bus transportation, jobs, restaurants, and a grocery store.
Ma'am, can you summarize?
Yeah, so in
Sum it
addition,
up.
tiny homes would be implemented there as well with green space for the park. That's it.
Hi, my name is Donnella Kaysen, and I live at 630 Poplar Street. I have lived in my home since they started this Northwest Alliance in '99. The homelessness has become a severe problem because there's the shelter right there out my back door. I've had several things stolen out of my yard. I've called the police. I showed them my footage off my camera. I've never had to put a camera up until probably about 10 years ago. I can't send my grandkids to Fifth Street Park to play. I can't send them up the street to Max Rose Park to play. There's people sleeping on the benches. There's people sleeping up under the shelter. All I'm asking is do not put these tiny homes in our neighborhood. We have 3 liquor stores, 2 gas stations. This is, y'all, when we first started this, y'all wanted to beautify our neighborhood. Now our neighborhood has seriously went down. Down. I get up, I have to be at work at 5 o'clock. My neighbor put up a spotlight, I put up a spotlight. I'm like this man, I'm scared to go outside because I don't know who's gonna be at my back door or who's gonna be standing behind my shed. We don't know who's in this shelter. We don't know if there's pedophiles, criminals. My main concern is this: these kids have nothing to do. And if they can't go to the park and play, that leads them to getting into more trouble or leading to trouble. So my thing is this, I'm asking you guys to leave our neighborhood alone with shelters, gas stations, liquor stores, everything. These kids are not gonna prosper if we keep leaving them in the same environment. We're bringing worse things to the neighborhood. That's all I gotta say.
Good evening. My name is Zinda Acton Wimsat, and me and my siblings own a home across the street from Faust Elementary, and we've owned this property for over 50 years. So I can testify to how the neighborhood looked when I was 7 years old to how it looks now. Just like Donella said, since I want to say since probably 2015, we've had to put cameras all over the property. We've had to put a security system on the house, and we constantly we have indications and notifications going off daily. At night, at around 3 o'clock in the morning, it could possibly be an animal, a rodent, a dog, but more than likely, it's a man pushing or riding a bike with a heavy backpack on, or carrying or pulling a wagon with merchandise on it. Several times, because of the garage in the backyard, it's enclosed, but then there's a front part that's kind of like a shelter part. So many times I have had to get my husband up, grab a bat or something to go tell somebody to get out of my garage, or don't burn a fire in this place. The police have been called so many times that now they know me and they know where they're going and they know what it's about. And it's a constant problem that has just torn us or broken us down so bad that I'm in fear of my life, or I'm in fear of hurting somebody else, because I don't know what's going to happen. To even walk the dog outside, it's my property. It's a large piece of land, and I'm just not comfortable with us welcoming a community of people that we don't know, that don't have any respect for the neighborhood or the citizens in that neighborhood. I need my city that I have grown up here and I love to help protect what was put in place by my parents, who are gone now, but have left it to us to keep. And I don't want somebody to come in and tear it down in the city and not do anything. That's my plea. I appreciate you listening.
I have one other thing to add also. Herbie Kendall used to live in my neighborhood. He works for the city. Every morning he would get up and pick up the trash around our neighborhood. Mostly what he picked up was those little shooter liquor bottles, as these people drank, and throw them in my yard, which I live on the corner. I throw them in the apartment complex, PG Walker, across the street, going to the shelter. So these people are going into this shelter drunk, are high, and nobody cares. So there should be some regulations on how you come in there and stay the night also. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like I said, I live on a corner. I pick up little shooters, food wrappers. One time my grandson picked up something, I didn't know what it was, because we were cleaning up my yard, and I told him to throw it back down and go in the house and get a glove. So, like I said, something has got to be done. These kids have nothing to do, and they're fearful to go to the park. They have no park to play in. What is the purpose of the park? Or what is the purpose of y'all beautifying our neighborhood or beautifying the city, period, when you got people destroying it?
Good evening. My name is Darrell Hale. My problem seems pretty insignificant compared to what we've just heard. Pardon me? 3737 Frederica. Yes, and I don't know if I'm at the right place. I need to speak to someone about a noise issue. And if I'm not, I would like, someone to tell me where I need to go. But I've looked at it, it says noise pollution is pollution created by loud noises that adversely affect the surroundings. The loud sound of radio, speaker systems, television is a major source of noise pollution. The City of Owensboro Noise Ordinance. City of Owensboro Code of Ordinance, Section 17-8. Section 17-8 Noise Ordinance. Unlawful noises prohibited, exceptions, variances, penalties. Unlawful noises prohibited. It shall be unlawful for any person to make or cause to be made, continue to permit any excessive or unreasonably loud noise or any other ruckus sounds concerning the time, date, place, and nature of such noise or sound that a noise disturbs, injures, or endangers the comfort, health, peace, safety, or response of other person of ordinary sensibilities in any residential zone within the city. I went to the courthouse. I'm zoned residential. Our problem is with Rock and Roll Sushi across the street. A Rock and Roll Sushi they play loud noise. They play music across their intercom out into the parking lot. I have this that I've taken from the Messenger and Inquirer, August 26, 2024. Classic tunes like ZZ Top's "Give Me All Your Lovin'," a live recording of Led Zeppelin's "The Ocean" can be heard from loudspeakers outside Frederick Street's newest restaurant, Rock and Roll Sushi, before you enter the entity's doors. We're having a problem with the music. We can hear it loud, especially the bass. We hear it in the evenings, generally between 6 o'clock and up until 10:30 or later. They don't have any outside dining at all, so I don't see the necessity of the speakers. I've attempted to speak to the store manager. I have complained to OPD twice, and I know that someone else must have complained because I was, in speaking to the store manager, whom later I learned is the general manager. She accused me of calling and cussing out her employees, and I've never done anything like that. So it must have been someone else from the neighborhood that has done so. I've contacted the city manager, the city attorney, and I'm at a loss as to what we should do and how it should be handled. Thank you for your time.